Fakultas Perikanan merupakan perguruan tinggi negeri di Indonesia yang memiliki sejarah yang panjang sekali. Fakultas Perikanan Ilmu Kelautan berdiri pada tahun 1962 yang merupakan rintisan Fakultas Perikanan di Probolinggo, milik pemerintah daerah Probolinggo Selamat siang. Fakultas Perikanan merupakan perguruan tinggi negeri di Indonesia yang memiliki sejarah yang panjang sekali. Fakultas Perikanan Ilmu Kelautan berdiri pada tahun 1962 yang merupakan rintisan Fakultas Perikanan di Probolinggo, milik pemerintah daerah Probolinggo, kemudian bergabung dengan Fakultas Peternakan, kemudian berpisah menjadi Fakultas Perikanan, kemudian selanjutnya berkembang juga menjadi Fakultas Perikanan Ilmu Kelautan. Kita memiliki 6 program studi dengan 3 jurusan. Untuk menunjang kegiatan akademik perkuliahan mahasiswa FPIK UB, kita juga memiliki UPT yang berada di Sumber Pasir, yaitu yang bergerak di bidang perikanan air tawar. Kemudian yang kedua adalah UPT Perikanan Payau dan Laut yang berada di Probolinggo. Yang ketiga adalah UPT Marine Station di Sendang Biru, Kabupaten Malang.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We will start in 5 minutes, and I would like to remind you to follow the rules of this webinar that we already sent to you via email. Please use the virtual background we've sent to you by email, and please make sure that you mute your microphone to avoid any noise. We will start in a moment. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to International Webinar of Aquaculture with the theme Environmentally Friendly Technology in Aquaculture. I'm Aulia Rahmawati and I will be your host today. The Honorable Dean of Fisheries and Marine Science Faculty of Universitas Brawijaya, Professor Happy Nursyam, the Honorable Invited Speakers, Dr. Nur Asman Kasan from University Malaysia Terengganu, Professor Karin Pittman from Bergen University, Norway, Dr. Julie Ekasari from Bogor Agriculture Institute University, and Dr. Muhammad Fajar from Universitas Brawijaya, and also all distinguished participants. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, I would like to invite you to sing our national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Thank you, everyone. And to open this event, I would like to invite the Dean of Fisheries and Marine Science, Universitas Brawijaya, Professor Happy Nursyam, to give his special opening speech. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Happy Nursyam.
Okay, well, thank you, Bu Aulia, for this time. Very good morning, Norway, and a very good Dr. Fajar from Universitas Brawijaya, Indonesia. The Honorable Vice Dean, Head of Department, Head of Student Program, under Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, Universitas Brawijaya, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let us be grateful for the blessing of God Almighty, so that today we can gather in the opening of the international webinar held by Aquaculture Study Program under Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, Universitas Brawijaya, October 21st this year. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome all of you and chair the opening ceremony this afternoon to the international webinar with the theme Environmentally Friendly Technology in Aquaculture. The importance of this webinar is to exchange information about the development of research in the field of aquaculture technology. The development of aquaculture technology research is not only limited to cultivation or nutrition, but further has led to the development of biotechnology. The webinar will discuss a number of advanced topics regarding fish immunology, green aquaculture technology, and development of environmentally friendly aquaculture technology in Indonesia. Therefore, this webinar will not only give us important knowledge, but also a great opportunity to share experiences, both technical and regulatory issues. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the organizer and especially to the honorable speakers, Aquaculture Study Program, Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science College, especially Dr. Wahyu Endra Kusuma, Dr. Yunita Maimuna, Dr. Ating Yuniarti, and Muhammad Fahri, Master of Science, who have worked hard since the beginning of the planning stage, and they are still here today, all of you, even though they are very busy with their responsibilities. We really appreciate your dedication. Again, this webinar cannot be realized without the presence of partner universities like which the University of Bergen, Norway, University Malaysia Terengganu, IBB University, and Universitas Brawijaya, of course. Thank you for your willingness. I hope that everyone will take some positive issue with regarding to the development of aquaculture technology. And finally, this is an opportune time for me to declare the official opening of the webinar with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I wish all a fruitful day of interesting and beneficial program, and that you have a pleasant day during this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much. I'm Wale. Welcome you again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof. Happy, to officially start this event. And I would like to continue with photo session. Please kindly turn on your camera so we can capture your beautiful faces in this important event. And if you already have the virtual background that we already sent to you through email, please use that.
I cannot change my background.
It's okay, Pak.
So do I.
Okay, it's already.
Yeah. Let me count. 1, 2, 3. First phase. Second phase. 1, 2, 3. Okay, last one. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Done. Thank you very much, everyone. So before we start Please let me remind you once again about the rules of webinar. Kindly mute your microphone during this event to help avoid unwanted background noises. And as a participant, you will have a very restricted rights. You can only see and listen to the presenters and see how many other participants join in the meeting. And communication is only available via chat windows. The attendance presence link will be shared during the discussion, and only attendees who filled the form will receive e-certificate by email. If you have any question for the speakers, please fill the Google form prepared by the committee and submit your questions, and the moderator will, in each session, will read your question. Please note that the committee will record this meeting and save the speaker's presentation. We will share everything to participants later on, and e-certificate will be sent to your email within 1 week after the webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, this webinar will be divided into 2 sessions. First session will be guided by Dr. Yunita Maimunah, and the second session will be guided by Dr. Ating Yuniarti. Both ladies are from Universitas Brawijaya. Each session will have 2 speakers, and each speaker will present in about 20 minutes. And after all speakers present, we will have Q&A in the end of the session for about 20 minutes. To start the first session, I would like to invite Dr. Yunita Maimunah to moderate. Time is yours.
Thank you, Aulia. Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you once again. In this webinar, international webinar of aquaculture, and which is led by Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, University of Brawijaya. It is my honor to be a moderator for the first session. My name is Yunita Maimunah, and this session will last for 60 minutes. Now I will like to introduce the speakers in the first session. The first speaker is Associate Professor Dr. Nur Azman Kasan from Institute of Tropical Aquaculture Fisheries, Aquaculture, University Malaysia, Terengganu. He has completed his bachelor degree from the University of Technology Malaysia and also continued his master in the University Technology Malaysia, and then completed his doctoral degree from the University of Adelaide, Australia. He is currently a senior university lecturer in UMT, and he has involved in many teaching and tutorials for undergraduate and postgraduate students. He has published his scientific research since 2012, and also has awarded Gold Award for his outstanding achievement in research and application of aquaculture technology. The second speaker is Professor Karin Sweetman. She is from Department of Biological Sciences, Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, University of Bergen, Norwegian. She is the Home Consul of Canada to Norway from 1999 to 2015, and she has been active in both international and national relations almost of her life in many countries. And also, she is focusing in marine biology and ocean health science since 1979. She is the inventor of mucosal mapping, which has garnered local and global innovation prizes, and is commercially applied under the trademark Veribar of verification of barriers. She has been funding for both national and international research programs, and also fish taxonomist on research vessel Dr. Fridtjof Nansen in the Indian Ocean and Africa under FAO and NORAD. And then in Norway, she won the Thon National Prize for Excellence in Teaching. She was PI on the ISCO project, Integrated Sciences and of Oceans, Physics and Education, aimed at developing best team teaching practices and funded by the prestigious INSPARK program of the Norwegian Research Council. The ISCOP encompasses prominent members of University of California at Berkeley at the Center for the Study of Learning and Performance of Concordia University in Montreal, the College of Western Norway, as well as the Department of Biology of the University of Bergen. She has been teaching science techniques in biology for over 25 years and published in Environmental Impact of Aquaculture, Fish Juvenile Production, Food web structures, impact of fish on gut response, innate immunity, plasticity of fish larva development, and effects of reduction glutens on fish health. She is professor of fish biology at the Department of Biosciences, University of Bergen, and has been publishing scientifically since 1982. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our first presenter, Associate Professor Dr. Nur Azman Kasan from University Malaysia Terengganu. Dr. Nur Azman, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon to all participants today. First of all, I would like to express my greatest appreciation to the University of Brawijaya Malang for giving me an opportunity to share our technology or our research here in Malaysia in general, but in University Malaysia Terengganu in particular. So first of all, I would like to thank Professor Happy Nur Sham, the Dean of Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Sciences, Universitas Brawijaya, for giving us the opportunity. And the second one would be Dr. Yunita for being a moderator for us today. And I do hope that today I will give some screenshot on what we have done or what we ongoing progress or processes in UMT, in Malaysia in particular. I do hope on behalf of UMT academicians and researchers here in Malaysia, we hope that our sharing knowledge is not stopped here, but we can continue further in the future across the borders. So by the way, today I would like to present our project regarding the green technology for sustainable aquaculture industry. And in particular, it is response with applications of rapid bioflocs TM. So me myself is Nur Azman Mekasan. So attached with Institute of Tropical Aquaculture and Fisheries, University Malaysia Terengganu. Right. So first of all, so I do hope that everybody here, I think, is an aquaculturist or within the same field. All right, so that aquaculture based on water quality. And we do hope that in Malaysia or China or somewhere in anywhere, so when we raise up or culture any aquatic organisms, is really depending on the water. So not to forget that the key successful for any culture organism or any aquaculture activities will be dependent on the high water quality. So rule of thumb is poor water quality basically will produce poor harvesting production. So there is a few other concerns that we need to consider. So basically we do have a lot of culture techniques. Okay, we do have pond culture, cage culture, pen culture, and so on. All right, so that here you see some example on how the on how the aquaculture practices both in Southeast Asia or somewhere in Europe. All right, so this is some example. So the other concern is regarding the preventions of freshwater or the ecosystem itself. So not to forget that we are trying to produce the maximum yield of aquaculture organism, but not to forget that we are also destroying our basically our ecosystem. So this is the other thing that we need to consider. So as regard to aquaculture problem, or that most probably most significantly affected the aquaculture practices are, the first one is the disease, right? Not to forget that any aquaculture farms will facing this problem. So for instance, all right. So for instance, for producing Lithopenes vaname, or somehow a common name is, we call it a specific wild shrimp. So they are facing early mortality syndrome, EHP, white spot syndrome, that will finally causing the low productions of shrimp. And of course, the other thing is regarding the environmental impact. So most of the shrimp or other aquaculture practices are using synthetic flocculant in order to treat the wastewater. And somehow, these flocculant are non-biodegradable and non-environmentally friendly. And it will lead to the harmful effect towards human consumption and also aquatic life, including in river, both in river and lakes, or in marine ecosystem. And with regard to poor nutrient cycling, which leading to accumulations. And finally, if we not manage it very well, it will cause the eutrophication or other algal bloom problem. Last but not least, it will lose in terms of economic value. And we aim for whatever future aquaculture practices. So in the sense that we need to think that above water considered as a limitation. So, but underwater still have a lot of things that we can still use. So, optimal use of resources. We know that in terms of aquaculture, we need a lot of water. It's not just only water, but we are destroying a limited numbers of basically spaces, right? And then energy and so on, right? So we need to optimize their usage. The second one will be on the use of feed, because feeding is the main cost in terms of productions. So because we need regularly to feed aquaculture products in order for them to grow. And finally, to produce high quality products, so culture, processing, marketing, health, and so on. And last but not least is the transparency. So today I would like to get your intentions basically on the technology that we introduce or we stress on, which is on the Biofloc technology. I think this is not very new for all the participants. So what we call it as a Biofloc. But I will share some basic background of the Biofloc, and then I will show what we have done regarding this. So Biofloc is there is a combination from those two terms, which is biological and floc. So basically, biological is a living thing, and flocculation is relating to accumulations of anything that related to flocking. So what is Biofloc? So in aquaculture, so Biofloc is any ecotoxicological technique that using zero water exchange. We're hoping that good environment, good microbial proteins that within the Biofloc can reduce the usage of water exchange. So we don't have to use a lot of water, and we can reuse the water again and again by balancing nitrogen and carbon sources. The second one is provide the essential and higher quality nutrition. As we know that this Biofloc are containing beneficial microbes. It's not just only bacteria. It also contain of protozoa, microalgae, and so on that clump together or aggregate together that can be used by the aquaculture organisms like shrimp or juvenile or fingerling of fish still can eat on the floc itself. All right, so it will leading to achieving the fast growth and low feed conversion ratio, so that we can reduce the consumptions of feeds. And last but not least is effective and convenience technique to remove suspended solids, colloids, and cell debris that depend on my own investigation. All right. What is the compositions of Biofloc? Alright, so up to now, I'm still sharing about the Biofloc, not yet on the rapid Biofloc. Alright, so I will show what is the Biofloc all about. So Biofloc compositions including protozoa, microalgae, bacteria, fungi, protozoan, and some organic matter that such as feces and uneaten fat that accumulate in the aquatic ecosystem, aquaculture ecosystem. And those combination or aggregates are held together by loose matrix. It's very fragile. All right, so that we need to know and make sure that aeration normally in a pond we use a paddle wheel, right? So basically we need to arrange and make sure that paddle wheel does not destroy this Biofloc if we already implement the Biofloc. And those composition are held together by fragile electrostatic forces. So this is some photos showing the Biofloc composition, including protozoa, nematode, and copepod. Right, so this is the other example of floc communities based on the and size, and also physical characteristic. In terms of size, is range between 0.1 to 0.2 millimeter. In terms of color, so we can see the Biofloc itself turn to green or brown depending on the dominated organism. Okay, it can be easily settled in the water at the bottom of the pond because they become heavier and settle down to the bottom. Alright, so this is some photos showing the brown and green. So if you can see here, alright, if you can see there, Biofloc bacteria, Biofloc of algae, Biofloc, a combination of bacteria and algae. So depending on the types, based on the predominant species of this Biofloc. So if you can see the brown Biofloc is dominated by bacteria, and Biofloc, algae Biofloc is dominated by the algae, and combinations of Biofloc bacteria and also microalgae bacteria is a equivalent compositions of both of. Sorry. Right. All right. Sorry for the technical problem a bit. So when we turn to raising up the shrimp culture, so we need to know that the maximal safe for ammonia is within 0.2 milligram per liter or 0.2 ppm. So not more than that. And when it under neutral pH or pH 7 and more or less 6.8 to 7, so we can go up to 2 milligram per liter. Right, so how does Biofloc work? So basically, in natural, we will feed the culture organism with fat, okay, pellet or some other things that we know that the carbon and nitrogen percentage. And in addition to produce the Biofloc, we need to add up more carbon, extra carbon, all right, by knowing the calculation, all right. So if possible, according to some literature saying that the optimum CN ratio will be from between 10 to 20. All right, so basically, so this carbohydrate will be used as organic nutrient for the protein from the microbial. In this case, is a nitrifying bacteria to use up the carbon as their nutrient. All right. Okay. So again, in natural, basically Biofloc. All right. So waste from the food, feces, and urine will concentrated in the pond. All right. And they will increase in terms of ammonia, nitrate, and nitrate and nitrite that affect the water quality. So that, as I said earlier, we need to maintain the nitrate and ammonia with less than 0.2. All right, and this ammonia will turn to nitrate and later to nitrite, and later on to denitrifying to nitrogen gas. What we improve is when we add up the carbon, All right. So the nitrifying bacteria involved in the compositions of Biofloc will blooming, so that the Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus will increase in terms of numbers. All right. When we add up this carbon source. All right. So we may maintain the carbon to nitrogen ratio within 10 to 20 CN ratio. All right. Okay. So there is, in conclusion, for Biofloc, what is the advantages of Biofloc? So it is believed that Biofloc can improve water quality by reducing the ammonia and also nitrate. And disease prevention, we know that when we develop Biofloc, so that dominated by the nitrifying bacteria or other